What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm back with another full self-driving test here, basically. My car actually did 2 updates in about a 24-hour period. So the first one, I got FSD version 12.3.5, and then very shortly after, less than 24 hours, I got FSD 12.3.6, which from what I understand was simply a bug fix for 12.3.5, but I'm not sure exactly what it fixed. But I have seen some people do some reviews, and they've said that it has gotten better than it was previously, which is, of course, always the hope when you get new software versions. So let's put it to the test. I'm going to take it on a similar route that I've taken on some of my other FSD videos, because I feel like there are a lot of challenges on that route that it has either handled fine one time and then not handled well the next time, or just handled poorly altogether. So we're going to figure out how much it's really improving as we go along in all these versions. So let's put a route in and let's get going. And I will talk a little bit about some of the things that I've noticed that it still does. There's a couple things that have really stood out to me, and I'll mention those as I notice them on this drive. So it still stops really far away from the car in front of me, but as you guys have mentioned in previous videos, this is technically the safe way to do it. So really the only reason that it even bothers me is because people behind you, look at you weird, honk at you, different types of things if you leave too big of a gap. It's all appearances, right? That's what a lot of my complaints are. And I've seen some people do some demo drives with FSD where they don't get any nag at all, and I do not understand how they're doing that, because I get nag every like 30 seconds or so. These people don't have their hands on the wheel, so don't give me that. It has nothing to do with that. They just sit like this and it just doesn't nag, and good for them, because mine does not do that. We got a big tanker here. All right. And I will fast forward so we can get to some of the more interesting bits. All right, so this is one of those things that it does slightly weird. So it really needs to be in this middle lane, and it just does this like swimming thing. It did eventually pick the correct lane this time, but imagine there's cars behind you and they're kind of rapidly approaching, waiting for you to get in which lane you need to be in, and your car's doing this kind of can't make up its mind kind of dance thing. Just not ideal. It needs to be a little bit more decisive when picking a lane, because it knows which lane it needs to be in. So that little, I call it like a double clutch, that little like thing. It also does it sometimes when picking a turning lane. So let's say there's a highway exit on the left and you need to get into the turning lane, and there's a, pass-through lane right in front of you. It will kind of like swim between before it picks the right lane. Just a little awkward. Not that it necessarily does it wrong, it's just weird, and it makes people look at you weird, honk at you and stuff. Again, appearances. Another thing, it's kind of doing it right now, but I don't know, it's hard to tell over camera how it actually shows, but it does kind of these, not phantom brakes like you'd think, but like kind of bobs. So it'll be like, you'll speed up really quick to put you above a certain speed, and then it just kind of slams on the brakes, and then it speeds back up and slams on the brakes, and you're like, what are we doing here? Like this, it's like launching right now. My rear wheel drive launching. So it'll get up to speed, and then it just hits the brakes, and you can kind of feel the whole car kind of lurch. It doesn't have this kind of like smooth progression where it just kind of glides through things. It's this very like stuttery kind of back and forth thing. And I'm used to it, but for people that, you're trying to show a demo to or whatever, they're like, you doing this number? And you're like, yeah, it just kind of does that. I think that the whole just natural progression of everything could smooth out some. Let's go ahead and put in a destination that's a little bit far from here. It'll take us on the highway. All right, so that time it did a good job of picking which lane to go in, which it doesn't always do. So that was nice. Little improvement, just little improvements here and there. Yeah, see, it just did the swimming thing. It's like it wasn't sure which lane it needed to be in. That right there, I don't know if you saw that. That's another thing that it does. When it's sitting at a complete stop, it'll like do this like stutter, stop, stutter, stop, stutter, stop. It'll do it like 3 times. It's like it's hitting the acceleration and then slamming the brake, hitting the acceleration, slamming the brake, but like really tiny increments. And that's just weird. It's only when you're sitting still that it does that. Just kind of a weird behavior. I'm not sure what the reason is. I don't know if it's creeping or, I don't know. Maybe you guys know down in the comments, let me know. So it went ahead and just merged right into that next lane. That was pretty aggressive. Not wrong, but just aggressive. I do have it on assertive mode, by the way. I know people have been asking in the comments. It is on assertive. So it stopped really far here. Maybe it sees that this car is maybe wanting to turn out, so it's leaving a nice big gap here. That's pretty smart. That's probably the polite thing to do here, in case this car wants to get into one of these lanes or go across. Makes sense. There it is, another one of those little stutter things. See it? Multiple of them. Let's see if it lets this car out or not. It wasn't going to let the car out, so I stopped. Wasn't too polite there. It was polite initially, and then it got a little less polite. I think if that car would have taken more initiative to start, either had their turn signal on or started to actually inch out when that light turned green, I think it probably would have stopped. All right, we're headed toward God's forsaken country, Lexington, Kentucky. All right, highway merging here. In my experience, let's see what it does here. That wasn't terrible. Yeah, no, that wasn't terrible. In my experience, it waits a really long time on the kind of merging lane till, you least you feel that phantom brake. Goodness gracious. Now it wants to get over in front of this Model Y. It said, no, I go first. In my experience, it's taken a while and waited a long time in the merging lane, almost until it's too late, and that's been a little bit disappointing. That one wasn't bad, but sometimes it just waits too long. It'll just ride right till the edge and then try and cut over really quick. It needs to get over when it has the chance and when there's the spacing to do so, not based on how long it's been on the merging lane. So just another little thing, something that I can track, right? I've witnessed this behavior and I can see from version to version if it gets better. All right, it usually has trouble with this area since it's a little bit unmarked, but it's doing well so far. It needs to get over though. Yeah, okay, go ahead. You got plenty of space. All right, good. Slowing down, nice. And we got to get on this ramp here. It needs to cut in front of this car. Now take exit 19 I mean, technically it did it. That was not great for the people behind me, but it technically did it. Should have sped up a little bit more. It stopped instead of speeding up to give that car more room. But it's handling this construction area better than it has in the past, so I'll give it that. It took the exit correctly, which it hasn't the last 2 times. So good on FSD there. Nope, don't swim. Get over. Just needs to be more confident. We're on assertive. Be confident. You got this. All right, let's try this intersection. This one is a tough one. This is 4 lanes of traffic, 2 going each way with a center lane. I've yet to see FSD actually pull me into the center lane, and I don't know how long this is gonna take, because sometimes it just never goes. But this is one of my big issues. Probably honestly gonna wait until it is completely clear, which could be never. See, it's got so much space. Honestly, it might go after this car. It should have gone after that car. It has so much space. There are no cars coming this direction. Yep, now you're running out of time. This is the infuriating part of FSD. It's like, I could be at the highway by now, but I'm just sitting waiting for a perfect, all right, it should go after this. Go, go, go. It literally did wait till it was basically completely clear. That's what I thought was gonna happen. Which, it's safer and shut up. That's not how people drive. You don't wait at a stop sign until there's literally no other cars around you. You just go when it's your turn. You go when there's a gap in the traffic, and that's what FSD should also do. I'm sure it'll get better. I'm not saying that it's stuck like this, but that has been my experience at those type of intersections the entire time that I've been testing FSD, basically. Did the swimming thing again. It's done in there multiple times.
Now turn left onto South English Station Road.
That's not okay when there's somebody behind you. It's just, you can't be doing this number when people are trying to pick a lane behind you. That's super dangerous. So this is gonna wind me back through some back roads, which could be kind of nice. All this type of stuff, like this just generic city driving with clearly painted lanes, and it handles it basically perfectly. It's almost uninteresting, right? It handles it so well. I even took it way out kind of into the country where my brother lives, and it handled, wide open, laneless roads just fine, no problem. It always hugs you to the right, which is the, appropriate thing to do. Gives people space and handles unmarked roads really, really easily. All right, this is kind of a weird intersection. It's a really harsh right turn. There's not a stop sign here, so I should just be going right through this and turning right. Yeah, I mean, it stopped a little more than you really need to because you don't have a stop sign there. But for safety, it slowed way down and took it nice and easy. That was good. And there is a steep drop off on the side of the road there too, and it handled it no problem. So it does all of these kind of back roads really safely, right? It's not whipping around corners or anything like that, which is the appropriate way to do it. It just kind of glides around the turns and things, gives it nice, a nice speed decrease as it goes around, and then pumps it back up. But it handles it fine. It's a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit back here. It's going 35, 34, completely reasonable. There was a situation yesterday where I was driving through an apartment complex, and this little kid ran across the entrance that I was kind of working my way through, and I was going probably like 8 miles an hour. Like, it was super slow. So this kid ran across, and FSD saw the kid run across. And then if it were just have been me, I would have seen that kid over on my left side and then looked back center and then continued driving through. FSD did not do that. I was using it, it was fully engaged, and out of the side view came another little kid on a bicycle and flew right past the front of my car. I did not see them at all because there was a big bush in the way. FSD saw it. I don't know how. I don't know if the camera up by the tire saw it or the B-pillar camera saw it somehow. I don't know, but I didn't see it. And I don't think I would have hit the kid even if I was driving because they were far enough away from me to where I could have slammed on my brake going very slowly. But I didn't have to do that. FSD didn't even accelerate. It just waited, and then the bike went past, and then it went. And I was like, man, that is beyond impressive. And that is why FSD is important. It does some dumb stuff, no doubt about that. There's some weird behavioral things that they need to work out. But stuff like that, where some other normal person may have not had the reflexes to stop there, if they were to have gone through that intersection, FSD didn't even try. It just waited. It knew or saw the bicycle kid. It just didn't go. And I love that. That's huge. We need more of that. People talk about how popular Teslas are too. I have seen so many Teslas during this little test drive. They're all around me. Now in this part of town, people tend to have nicer cars, so it makes sense, but there's also some superchargers out this way, so maybe that's why, but they're freaking everywhere, man. See, again, I don't know why it's going 4 miles an hour over the speed limit and then it decides to go 10 miles an hour over the speed limit. Don't know why that is. That was interesting. Did you guys catch that? Oh, that's a beautiful Hyundai. It stopped very far back at the stop sign, and normally it would do this little like creeping maneuver and get really awkward, but it stopped far back at the stop sign, waited for its right of way, and just went right through it. That was nice. All right, we're almost back to our lunch spot for today. You'll never guess where it is. Don't look at the screen. It took us a really unique way. This might be the fastest way, I don't know, but it could have just hopped on the highway, but it didn't. There's a lot of geese back here as well, so I'm interested to see how it would do with geese. So it should absolutely go here. Yeah, that's a stop sign. I wonder how it would do if a goose just walked right out into the middle of the road, because that happens all the time back here. See, it didn't need to slam on the brakes right there. I don't know if that's a quality in the road type thing, because there was some like, you know, kind of broken, discolored parts of the road. So I don't know if it's doing it based on that. I don't know. It's just a weird behavior that, again, it's fine when there's nobody behind you. Like, see, it should just be going. These are all stop signs. Just go, go. There's nobody here. That's what I'm talking about. There's nobody here. And it's just like creeping, creeping, creeping. Again, it does it. It's just when there's people behind you, it gets really uncomfortable, and you're always checking your, back mirror to see if people are, motioning to you and gesturing in any inappropriate ways. All right, well, we made it to our destination. It's going to pull me into the parking lot here, nice and slowly. Last time it didn't do this correctly. It took me that way, and yeah, did it again. Okay, well, technically, we made it just about to Chick-fil-A, where we're gonna grab some lunch. I hope this video was informative for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna be making more of these videos. I'm gonna do some more testing on at 12.3.6 and really kind of push it a little bit more. Also, with every new version, I'll keep making these videos for you guys. But if you guys did enjoy the video, drop a like. Let me know down in the comments what your experience has been like. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss all my FSD content and all other Tesla videos the second I hit publish. We'll see you in the next one.